more He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelation drama. Go watch a few of the previous videos that I did do talking about this very subject, talking about Kevin Smith, talking about the bait switch, talking about how, yes, he indeed lied. I know there's a lot of people covering for him, claiming that he didn't, but yes, he did specifically lie about a thing. And we know there's this sort of part 2 of this Masters of the Universe Revelation that will be coming out. And there's already, of course, talks, speculation, which you would expect to see that. That's why they release it in 2 different parts, to get people enthusiastic, get people hyped up, get people some sort of anticipation. Now, the negative thing about this, though, is that the anticipation might not be as good considering what happened during this first phase, if you will, with the first 5 episodes, and it being very centered around Tila and everything else. But more people are starting to kind of connect the dots, and they are, and I'll just go ahead and be up front with that, though that's not the big angle that I want to take on this video. Just for the sake of context, just because people are bringing it up, I want to acknowledge it as well. So what that is Tiffany Smith is the person that plays Andra in the Masters of the Universe Revelation animation. Now, again, the hilarious part about that is, well, she's playing a tokenized version of the character. So her mere existence, and this is the point that I want to make here, her mere existence proves everything to the contrary of what you morons who would comment on my videos and say that, well, the reason why these live action, for example, tokenizations happen is because they're the best person for the job. You heard old stupid stuff like that. And what's the big deal? Race isn't integral to the character. All of this other nonsense that people like to throw out there to act as if there is no way that the people, the producers, be it the people that are handling the castings, don't go out of their way to actually tokenize the characters. The fact that this is a damn animation, which you obviously know with animation, black people have voiced white characters and vice versa, though not as much anymore because that's, wokeness is kind of taking over even voice animation. So the people that were white, that were playing non-white characters, voicing non-white characters, they have been stepping down because they're taking the jobs of the POC. But this proves to the contrary because she's playing a character who has historically been white, and now she's black in animation. So, shut the hell up. I can't spin in my chair and say, fuck you, I was right. But you get what it is that I'm saying. I know what the hell I'm talking about on this subject matter. Every tokenization that Hollywood does, every single one, even the ones that you like, the Nick Furies of the world, every single one is done purposefully. It is. If you need any more further proof, just look at the fact that they do it in animation too. But the angle that a lot of people are taking is because, then to the point, Tiffany Smith, this is something that she wrote, her turn, my turn, she says, it's her turn. On Newsweek, she's voicing Andra. She's letting everybody know that she plays the first black woman in Kevin Smith's Master of the Universe Revelation. Now, this is basically an op-ed, is all this is. And the angle that most people that are doing videos on this subject matter, and rightfully so, that they're connecting the dots that this character that she plays, which is the tokenized version of the character that she plays, is going to be basically replacing He-Man. Because if you connect the dots, Kevin Smith did say that Tila was not going to replace him, if you will. But there was an instance in which she mentions, I'm trying to find the exact statement, where she was talking about her actual audition. And she says that they had her hold the sword, of course, up in the air and say He-Man's classic line. Now, you can take that for whatever way that you may. Was it that, okay, we're prepping you because you're going to need to say that in the event that, and let me see if I can find the actual deal. I had already read this, but I didn't. Hold up. What is she? Because she does, of course, mention it, and I'm trying to figure out where she, like, okay, I guess me trying to find it that way. How about this? We're just going to read through it. Let's just do this. When I was younger, my sister auditioned for commercials. but thought every time a commercial aired, she had to be somewhere different. I am lucky to have super close family, so she freaked out and didn't want to do it and be away for us. Blah, 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 blah. I also wanted to be Wonder Woman, she says. She grew up reading comic books, and my mom, and a lot of these, what do you call them? She's an actor, voice actress. I don't know. When they tell me they read comic books, I always take that with a grain of salt because I don't believe them. Nonetheless, continuing on. Grew up reading comic books, and her mom, maybe she is a comic book fan. Maybe she actually reads comics. Who was a teacher, actually dressed up as Wonder Woman for Halloween. Another year, I really connected with Storm. Another character she connected with was Storm of the X-Men. I think for so many people like myself, feeling connected to comics because a superhero being different is usually what makes them special. It was a space I felt connected to because I was very aware that I came from a mixed family. I'm multiracial, and at the time, you couldn't really buy a Barbie that looked like me. I've always loved entertainment, comics, and geeky stuff, and after college, I began to get gigs, hosting TV shows. She hosted a show called Geeking Out with Kevin Smith and Greg Grunberg. And when I booked it, I got a call from a producer who told me Kevin was the one who had recommended me as a female host who really knew her stuff. That's what happens. You scratch back, scratch ears, he scratches yours. One gig turns into another. A couple of girlfriends told her in New York City told her that they actually watched Suits because it made them feel like they were hanging out with me, even though I lived in L.A. Then the audition for a Lifetime movie about Meghan and Harry came up. I joke the movie was like grad school for acting because the film just covered so much. And blah, blah, blah. She talks about Meghan and Harry's lives. Okay. I was definitely inspired to do more volunteer work than all of this stuff, but let's get to the good stuff. Not long after an audition for Masters of the Universe, Revelation came up. I did the audition, but I didn't want to reach out to Kevin or anything. I really wanted my work to speak for itself. Kudos to you. I remember at the end of the audition, I had to say the iconic, "I have the power" line. So I pulled my lightsaber off the wall because, yes, she has one, she says. She has two. She raised it up over her head, and she said the line. I realized they think it was super cool or go eesh. Thankfully, a couple of weeks later, I got a call saying I had booked the role of Andre. Okay, so with that being said, the angle here is, well, it's why are they having her say that? Because she does say at the end of the audition, I had to say the iconic "I have the power" line. That's what she's saying. So if she's going to be holding up the sword, doing the Adam He-Man deal, why the hell would she be saying that if she's not going to wield sword of power? Again, maybe they had all of them say it. That's what some people will say. Everybody has said it. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like this means absolutely that. So if one thing Kevin Smith was right about, he was right that Tila, which he said he was spoiling it, does not wield it. And maybe that's because she does. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm not even making the prediction that it will. But it's totally understandable if you connect the dots between what Kevin Smith said and what she's saying, because that's bizarre. Because why would she be saying that unless she was going to be filling that position? So it makes sense. Here's my angle, though, that makes this far more interesting to me. Is yes, of course I'm going to use this as an example, yet another one, to talk about tokenization again. I think a lot of people want some things to be true. As I've often said before, they need things to be true because they don't want certain folks to be right, if that makes sense, right? It's one thing when it comes from someone like myself that they generally despise. Folks like myself that are sitting to the opposite end of them when it comes to main pop, nerdy culture is now pop culture, but you get what I'm saying. that doesn't mean what I'm saying is incorrect about certain things. This person was given the opportunity to voice a role. And it was one thing, and again, it's a voice acting role. And I guess I can understand when someone is, let's say, voicing a character because they're not themselves appearing on screen, and your job is to voice. You like what's part of the being the actor, or rather the actress, is what's your voice, not how you look. You're trying to give life to the character that's being animated. So I can understand why you wouldn't be the race of the character that you're representing in some instances. We know Phil Lamar and the different characters that he's done, and he's done a decent job. He's done a solid job. It's happened all across in this genre. But they switched the character up to try to kind of suit her, albeit she's a multiracial. But they race swapped. They race swapped an animated character. And I believe they did the same thing for Grayskull as well, if I'm not mistaken. Though they did it in a comic first. They tokenized him in a comic first out of nowhere. I think they did the same thing there. So they're doing it to live action, which you say, of course, is just the best person for the job, as if there's just free fall castings that happen. But when it happens in an animation, here you are. What is your explanation for that? When they tokenize a character from the animation standpoint, what do you have to say about that other than, okay, Eric, you're right? That's all you can say. Because I'm correct. But most importantly, what I wanted to point out is the lack of integrity that a lot of people have, actors, actresses. To them, this is just another gig, and this is the case that I made. See, a person of integrity and a person that is a nerd or a geek, as she claims, definitely from a voice acting standpoint. Could you imagine me getting a voice? And I've obviously done my share of voice acting as well. And I'm asked to voice a character, or there was a casting to voice a character. And the character's already established. So maybe it's an animated depiction of the character. What do I look like being like, okay, you need to change that character to suit me because I am black, and maybe that can be picked up on from a cultural standpoint in my voice, cadence, I guess. And they changed that up for me. If I'm truly into this, I should have enough integrity, no matter how much money they're giving me, to say, you know what, no, you're cheapening this. And she makes it clear that that's the reason why it's being done. And, that's why she's so proud that this is being done. It's the headline of the damn article. I played the first black woman in Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe. So that's why you did it. I'm correct. Always was. Always was correct. And the minute y'all shut the fuck up and actually come to actual realization, the better off you're going to be. We don't have to have these arguments. I don't have to keep doing these videos. I only do these videos because y'all want to shut the fuck up. They keep doing it. And then y'all act like gaslight, right? You act like folks like myself are the crazy ones because we call the stuff out. No, you stop doing this shit. These videos will serve no purpose to exist. But when you do it, the actor or actress brags about the fact that they're filling the role of the tokenization, meaning that that's specifically why they did it. Ain't nothing else you can say. But, okay, Eric, you were correct. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.